During the Great Depression, Americans faced challenges that went far beyond economic hardship. Families struggled to stretch every resource, and, well, access to clean water was not always guaranteed. Yet, in the midst of these difficulties, people developed ingenious methods to survive, adapt, and make the most of what nature provided. One such technique was the Depression-era ice block trick, a clever, low-tech method for purifying water using nothing more than ice, containers, and, honestly, a bit of patience. It's a technique that is surprisingly relevant for backyard enthusiasts, survivalists, and anyone interested in practical historical ingenuity. Today, we'll explore how it worked, why it was so effective, and how you can apply this method in modern survival or homesteading scenarios. Why was clean water a daily struggle during the Depression? Well, access to potable water was inconsistent in rural areas, especially during those harsh winters when rivers, wells and cisterns often froze or became contaminated. Boiling water was the most common purification method, but, fuel shortages and rationing made constant boiling impractical. Families needed a method that could purify water safely without relying on large amounts of firewood or coal. The ice block trick offered an elegant solution by harnessing a natural resource that was abundant during winter-frozen water. Unlike filtration systems or chemical treatments, which were either expensive or, frankly, just unavailable, the ice block trick used a simple principle. When water freezes, impurities, sediments and many bacteria are pushed aside, leaving the purest water concentrated in the final melt. By controlling the thawing process, Depression-era households could produce clean water with minimal effort and cost. The method relied on slow, controlled melting of ice. Families would first freeze a block of water in a clean container, making sure it was as free from visible debris as possible. As the ice began to thaw, the first meltwater, containing the highest concentration of impurities, was discarded. This initial water often held sediments, bacteria and other contaminants that had been pushed to the edges during freezing. The key to success was, really, patience. The middle portion of the ice, which had frozen most slowly, was the purest and could be collected as it melted. Households would position containers under the melting ice to capture this water, leaving behind the cloudy or sediment-laden portions at the edges. By repeating this process, families were able to produce small but reliable amounts of clean water for drinking, cooking and household use. The brilliance of the ice block trick lay in its simplicity and the natural physics of freezing. As water transitions to ice, most impurities, including microorganisms, dissolved salts and debris, are excluded from the crystalline structure. This meant that even in the absence of modern filtration, water could be purified to a surprising degree using only temperature control and observation. Winter conditions naturally supported this process. Ice could be stored outdoors or in unheated rooms without risk of melting, and the gradual thawing minimized the chance of contamination. Even small rural households without refrigeration or water treatment facilities could take advantage of this method to ensure safe drinking water. Families often incorporated the ice block method into their daily routines. Large containers or wooden boxes were filled with water and frozen overnight or during extremely cold periods. As the ice slowly melted, the middle pure portion was collected into clean vessels for immediate use or storage. Some households even designed simple troughs or channels to guide the meltwater directly into jars or pitchers, reducing contact with potentially contaminated surfaces. For modern survivalists or backyard enthusiasts, the principle remains the same. Even in temperate climates, a freezer or insulated box can replicate the freezing process. Collect water from the purest available source, freeze it slowly, and discard the first portion as it melts. This technique can serve as a low-cost, chemical-free purification method in emergency situations or when traditional filtration is unavailable. The Depression-era ice block method highlights a key survival lesson. Resourcefulness and patience often outweigh technology. By observing natural processes and adapting them for human use, families were able to secure one of life's most essential resources under harsh conditions. Today, the same principles can be applied to emergency preparedness, off-grid living, or winter camping. It teaches the value of slow, methodical approaches to purification, the importance of understanding natural physical processes, and the practicality of low-tech solutions in a world that, quite honestly, increasingly relies on complex systems. For anyone interested in historical survival skills, this method is a fascinating reminder that necessity drives innovation. By applying the ice block trick, modern enthusiasts can gain practical skills, reduce reliance on fuel or chemicals, and experience firsthand how people thrived despite scarcity. If exploring this Depression-era survival technique fascinates you, subscribe to the channel and share this video. Preserving and applying these historical methods ensures that the ingenuity of the past continues to guide and equip us for modern challenges, keeping both knowledge and practical skill alive for generations.